New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Man, yeah, I hated this loss. I hate that we lost to the Sixers in this manner. But we're gonna talk about it. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here, give me that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. Knicks lose to the 76ers, 79 to 73. We were able to hold the Magic to under 80 points, and we still were able to do it again today. Unfortunately, we could not score enough. The 76ers were very hungry, extremely hungry, and they wanted to prove something. This is the first game that they've won without Maxey and without their guy Embiid. So tough loss to swallow, especially because we were right there in striking distance for most of the game. We just could not get over the hump. And we're going to talk about the ugly, and even the more ugly. Before we get into the game, let me introduce and welcome back Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Cuba Stone Cold Music. Your boy's back in the house.
Yeah.
Ready to talk some hoops. I missed you, homie. Missed all the people on the KOT family in the chat and on the panel. So glad to be back after a long, difficult concussion that I suffered, and then just recently got back from San Antonio there, scouting and watching the UIL state high school basketball championship. So back in Dallas and ready to talk Knicks.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Glad you're back. Glad you're feeling better. Happy for you and all your things you're doing over there in Dallas. A salute to you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Now let's get to it, man. Live by the three, die by the three. The Knicks are severely missing their inside presence. Usually we have Jalen Brunson for that. He is not the prototypical guy who gives you the inside presence, but that's usually what he does for us. He's number 3 in the league in scoring in the paint. But what the 76ers did was they triple teamed him all night, and they dared somebody else to make a basket. They dared somebody else to shoot it, and nobody else could make plays. I was kind of disappointed. I felt like a lot of the Knicks players were playing scared to me. They were playing scared to me. They were looking for Jalen Brunson to do everything instead of sometimes making a play. And I kind of felt like he was worn down at the end of the game because of it. But like the percentages weren't pretty. Precious 25% from field, Josh Hart 30% from the field, Brunson 27% from the field, Dante 35%, Burks 33%. The only people who actually shot well was Bojan, but they figured him out in the third quarter, and maybe Sims and Hartenstein, who just got some dunks, some easy dunks, which were few and far in between. So the 76ers game plan was really good, and they beat us. And we need more scoring, need more of an inside presence, and we need guys who sometimes, they're not afraid to shoot. Because that Magic game, we punched them in the mouth when we were able to hit threes. And when this team is a defensive dynamo. So when the defensive dynamos are able to hit threes, it's going to be a long night for you. But when we can't hit threes and we don't have our other guys to contribute offensively, it's a long night for us. And that's what I saw today. I saw a long night for us. What did you see tonight, Lee?
I feel like I'm catching up on, I feel like I missed like 5 or 6 games talking ball with you guys. So there's some trends that have been happening since then that I haven't really got a chance to comment on that reared their ugly head tonight. Albert sucks. I don't really know how else to say it. I don't know if he's shaking off the rust of the poverty of the Pistons, if he's having trouble acclimating to the evolved system with this new Knicks team or playing alongside Brunson. Not sure what it is, but his defense has been as bad as his offense. The shots he takes are outside the flow of a game. They tend to be a lot of isolation one-on-one, and he's not that guy. Bojan Bogdanovic also been very terrible as well. We always knew he was going to be bad defensively, but I thought this was a game where whether they figured out him or not, Tibbs should have left him in there because he's one of the few guys on the roster who's able to score and get his own bucket. And with OG and Randall out, as you said, the threes aren't falling. You really need some guys who can create off the dribble. And with Dante shooting poorly, and you can't depend on Josh Hart and Precious to get you 3-level scoring. This could have been a game for Bogdanovich to really come through. And he didn't do it on his own, even though he was more efficient. He wasn't aggressive. And I see him turning down a lot of shots that he heaved with ease and flow in Detroit. So I think I'm not worried. I haven't been worried about any of the losses or overly excited by any of the wins, even though Orlando won. I've kept a cool, steady head because even before I was out with a concussion, I knew that this season, this was going to be a very good regular season team. Only thing I cared about was the playoffs and giving our guys time to rest, come back and acclimate themselves with each other, especially Randall. These guys don't need to shake off the rust. I think Burks and Bogdanovich are shaking off Detroit rust and poverty right now. So I'm not too worried. The threes just didn't fall, and Philly wanted it more. These were two very injury-plagued teams, coached by two very good coaches, in Nick Nurse and Tom Thibodeau. So it's not like that was Doc Rivers over there in Philly. Nick Nurse has his guys ready to play. They're just like us. That's a man-up mentality. So I'm not getting too high or low on either way. We don't regroup. We'll get back together and we'll win some games here.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you can't get too high or low because I mean, luckily, when you look at where everybody is, everybody kind of lost today. So we dodged a bullet. Cavs lose. I think Orlando lose. Everybody, a bunch of other players who are close in the standings lost. The 76ers, though, that's pretty much 2 games for them. So we have to get that game back. I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson is not sleeping. I'm pretty. If I had to bet money, he's up tomorrow, shooting or whatever. Although they actually, you know what, they might be going head into Philly, so maybe not. But he had a horrible game as well. So I don't hold any win or loss. I don't over exaggerate any win or loss. Because of who we're missing. That's how I see it. I always take everything with a grain of salt. But I just like I still feel like we should have won this game only because of the playing field, you know? Like they're missing Embiid and Maxey. We have Brunson. We have Dante. I think personally he had enough to win the game. Personally. Yeah. So which is why I'm still just a little I sting a little bit with this loss. More than other losses because of the situation and who they were missing. And this is their first win all season without any of them. So I still, it still hurts. It still hurts a little bit for me.
But we do have depth, and we're about 2 deep at every position, some 3, but we're not deep at guys who can get their own shot. A lot of it is when the system when Brunson is not shooting well and he's in a slump, it affects the entire team because we really depend on the spacing that his scoring provides as a dribble penetrator and a 3-point shooter who's been excellent until the last couple of games. He's shown a little bit of inconsistency besides that Magic game. So, when he's off, the entire team suffers from that with the ability to have wide open shots and spacing. It causes guys like Josh Hart to try to create off a dribble or Precious to create off a dribble. Burks, and that's not their game. Hart wasn't the crisp playmaker that he usually is either. So, it was a very hungry Philly team. Does not want to lose in the standings, same as us because Max is out. So Kelly Oubre Jr. These guys are solid pros over there. Got a lot of it's a very veteran laden team with Batum and Kyle Lowry, guys that know how to win. It's not like we lost to the Wizards like the Miami Heat did tonight. So I don't feel too bad. Cavs lost to the Nets. That's a worse loss, in my opinion. Philly's a well-coached team with solid veterans. These type of losses happen. I'm just glad it wasn't a blowout. If anything, at least both our teams, the defense was locking down on both teams.
Yeah.
And people took shots. So they just had more shot makers than we did tonight with Kelly Oubre Jr. playing a fantastic game.
Yeah, we needed one more shot maker, man. That's really what it came down to. Devo, Dante DiVincenzo, he was that guy. He was averaging 30 as soon as Randall and OG went down. Then he gets hurt. He comes back. And it hasn't really been the same since. He had one outburst versus Cleveland, and then it's kind of been really up and down. So that was really the guy I was looking for to maybe help pick up the playmaking slack and the scoring slack. But he's been extremely inconsistent. 6 of 17 today. Josh Hart and the turnovers. Josh Hart's been amazing since the All-Star break, averaging pretty much a double-double. And even shooting around like over 40% from 3 since the All-Star break and playing 40 minutes a game. Today, rough, extremely rough game from him. Extremely rough game. Still, Josh Hart still gives you the 11 rebounds. Played his ass off, but the 6 turnovers from Josh Hart were really bad. And this is that indecisiveness that I'm talking about sometimes with Josh Hart. The indecisiveness, the I'm not sure, the I need to look for a bailout thing that kind of bugs me about him sometimes is what I saw today with the 6 turnovers. I'm going to the hole. I'm not even looking at the basket. I'm just looking to kick it out. And they're reading that like a book. Like I feel like 5 of those turnovers were straight up off of I'm driving, I'm kicking, and they already know the pass is going to the corner. They already know the pass is going cross court, and they're just picking those off repeatedly. So yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Agreed.
Yeah. He's like, yes, it was rough. And even Precious, man. Precious, there was even Precious open too. He hit 2 threes. They knew who to leave open. And when you have Josh Hart and Precious together for long stretches, it's rough to score, which is why I think I might have wanted to see Bojani more, even though he was kind of struggling. I still feel like maybe we should have closed with Bojan just because of the way the game was going. I don't blame Tibbs because it's still a really tough call because one gives you defense, one gives you offense, and we don't have that two-way complete player that gives you both. So you're sacrificing one for another every single time. Even with Bojan scoring, he was a negative 12 tonight. Which was second lowest plus minus in the game because of the defense. So I get it, but it was a struggle. Like that, the 3 that Precious missed in the corner was telling. He's like, when there's no pressure, I can hit it. Game is on the line. 76 is like, we're guarding everybody but you, Precious. Now what you gonna do? And it was air ball. So rough game.
Yeah.
Rough game.
The games where Randall chokes in crunch time, Thibodeau's rotations are stagnant, Jalen Brunson misses free throws. Those are games that really concern me. I'm like, damn, like this is reflective of what I might be able to anticipate in the playoffs. But this was a team loss. I don't put this on Tibbs. I agree with you. This was the roster that was out there on the floor. Collectively, 26-81. From 3, 9 of 41, 22% from 3 as a team. 19 turnovers. I believe he had 11 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You know, that's a team-wide defeat. I think that there are nights where that just happens. Everything lines up in the worst way, and you end up having a loss like this. And I think the lowest combined score in 8 years, the first time the 2 teams scored under 80. So it's an aberration. The loss isn't, but the way that we lost is. I don't think it's something that is going to worry me, where it might come back to rear its head later on, because once you add either OG or Randall, you have that second or third on-ball creator. And I think this is a game that you absolutely win, even if Maxey was playing, or Embiid, if we're fully healthy. So, again, yes, the loss sucks. It's embarrassing. It was on ESPN. Everyone saw it, and Twitter is going to be going crazy. The overreactions, people jumping out the window, negativeness Twitter is going to be on fire until we play again on Tuesday, and hopefully course correct. But in the big picture, I'm not too worried about this. I agree we need to mix up and diversify the offense so we're not so over-dependent on our three-point shot.
Yeah, it was the dribble handoff, drive kick, dribble handoff, drive kick. It was like watching a loop. It was like, woo, it was looking really predictable, and it was a struggle bus. And we was struggling so much. Shout out to Ebony. She's not here tonight, but she coined a phrase that I'm gonna have to use because she was like, she says, Alec Burks. What's the phrase she uses? I don't want to mess it up because it was so damn funny, yo. She said, Alec Burks isn't situational. Alec Burks is like, desperational is the word. Desperational. She's like, when you're desperate and you can't find anybody else working, then we need to play Alec Burks. I was almost kind of desperate today. I was like, let's see how Alec Burks. I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I was like, he hit a shot. He hit one shot. Shoot, even Deuce. Deuce was really bad today, man. He was 0 for 5. So I'm just like, I was actually willing to roll the dice on Alec Burks today. Like, that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. But you can't overreact. We'll be back on Tuesday. And hopefully we get our lick back. Maxie might be back. Don't think OG will be back, though. We'll talk about that in a second. But hopefully we get that lick back on Tuesday. Salute to Walter White, though, who sent a $5 super chat, who says Tibbs worked them yesterday. OG was fully cleared today. Yesterday's practice was real. Nobody wanted to shoot. I'm guessing that's what he wanted to say. Bet the house on the Knicks Tuesday. Now, you know what? That's not 100% true. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to some OG Anunoby news. Because OG Anunoby definitely practiced. I heard he shot well. But then Tibbs actually said that he said that if everything went well the next day, he would be cleared to play. ESPN then reported that he would not be playing versus the 76ers today, and that the elbow thing was a little bit more complicated than they thought. So they're not looking for him to even come to play on Tuesday either. So it's looking more like he will join us during the road trip. So I would not be looking for OG Anunoby Tuesday versus the 76ers. We might have to really just scrap up, get pissed, make some adjustments, get Brunson better looks, and beat these guys. That's the way we got to do it at this point.
Shout out Walter White for the super chat, $5, aka Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. I'm not sure if that's a reference or not, or just your real name. Either way, very cool. I agree. Bet the house. There's no way the Knicks shoot this bad back-to-back games against the same team. It's just the likelihood of it is impossible. Again, 32% from the field, 22% from three-point range, 19 totals for the entire game. Not going to happen. It might be another close one because of the injuries that both teams are suffering and how good both coaches are as well. But I think the Knicks for sure pull it out, and both teams definitely score over 80. You can also bet the house on that.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely don't. We definitely don't be. We're getting over 80. We're getting over 80 for one, and Brunson will be shooting better for sure. Brunson doesn't usually have 2 bad games in a row, except to like start the season. But in the middle of the season, he doesn't usually have 2 bad games in a row. He's a guy who prides himself over correcting his mistakes. I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking over tape to see where he could have adjusted. And I'm pretty sure the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau will be doing the same. So for the other guys, though, the others have to be more aggressive next game. Precious, Josh Hart in particular. Those guys cannot be scared to shoot or to make a play when given time, when given the runway too. So those guys have to be more aggressive, and they can't look for Brunson every single time to kind of bail us out. That's how he gets worn down. That's how you end up shooting all these bricks and stuff in the fourth quarter. So hopefully we see a different turn of events on Tuesday. Well, salute to the chat. This could be a short one, man. Shout out to Walter White. Thank you. Big fan of Breaking Bad. Oh, that's your real name? Oh, that's kind of gangster. Walter, hold up. Is Breaking Bad, is that based on your life or not? Maybe you should be getting a check. That's what I'm thinking. Get that. You should be getting a check. I feel like something should be coming to you.
Residuals.
For sure. Mark, shout out to Mark, who says barely anybody was cutting or running some off-ball action. The only time I saw movement without the ball was when Brunson fed Dante cutting backdoor for the layup. Yeah, I feel like we definitely need some more off-ball movement. The dribble handoffs are way too predictable for me. So I agree with you. We need some off-ball stuff for sure. All right. Yeah, Pixar Timmy says when you shoot bad, your legs are tired. I agree. And Roberto. Shout out to Roberto. I'll see you guys too. All right. Lee, did you want to add anything? I feel like this could be a short one.
No, man, I'm good to go as well. Again, please don't overreact. It's Twitter. Calm down. Don't hit the panic button. No reason to jump out the window, even though I know they look for a reason to every time. We don't hear a Josh Hart slander. We don't hear a Dante DiVincenzo slander. Hopefully, we don't hear any Jalen Brunson or Tom Thibodeau slander. But speaking of Josh Hart slander, the dude's been looking good. I've been harsh on him. I've been very critical before my absence. And in that time frame, he's had some of the best games of his career. He's filled in admirably for OG, playing up sometimes three positions. So yeah, I've been really happy with his production. All I really wanted him to do is be consistent with that three ball and be a threat. And for the most part, he has been. So I got no complaints, man. Shout out Josh Hart. Great energy guy. Really, no pun intended, the heart of a team.
That's what's up. We're gonna send you that Josh Hart apology letter, okay, Lee? We're gonna send you that in a minute.
Let's go.
And I'm ripping up the Bully John one. I'm ripping.
Too soon, bro. Too soon.
Oh man, I'm definitely wrong with Alec Burks. That's for damn sure. Lord, Jesus. Shout out to JT Reddick who sends a $4.99 super chat. It says, "Your bum night. On to the next one." Well said. Well said. This is the time of the show. You know what? It's time for some bruh picks, man. If you have some, bruh picks are usually the worst plays of the game, or it could be a game that you want to point out that was stupid or dumb, or it could be something that just happened that you thought was stupid or dumb. So let's get to it. I don't know, Lee, if you have any bruh picks that you want to talk about. You've been away, so maybe you've been storing some in your back pocket.
You know, I don't have any bruh picks. I just got an ooh pick. I want to shout out a designer who makes t-shirts. I'm wearing his Zion Williams Moriah Mills one right now.
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Alex the Gat on Instagram, and you can Google him. He makes the funniest shirts. I also have a To Catch a Predator Josh Giddey one in my closet right now as well.
Oh my gosh.
I wore this Zion Mariah Mills one in San Antonio and got hella comments and high fives and daps that people thought it was hilarious. And hey, Zion's been balling out lately, so maybe the tides are turning on his candy, Coke, and thought addiction. So man, shout out to the and shout out Zion.
Exactly. Shout out to Zion, who's breaking out. Maybe a child. Get your mind right, I guess. Huh?
Let's go.
Speaking of child, my bruh pick goes to Drea. Because Drea, shout out to Pixel Timmy. Shout out to Pixel Timmy who mentioned this last pod. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God. After the show was over, of course I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is obvious bruh pick. Drea, 40-year-old woman, is pregnant with the child of Jalen Green, who is, how old is he, Lee? 22?
22. Same age as her son.
Man, OGs, where are you? OGs, where are you? You can't. I don't understand. I don't know who his mom, his family is, but like you can't let somebody trap your son like that. Like I feel like it's like when guys start to date women when guys who are 40 or so dated women who are 21 and impregnate them and do like it's kind of slimy. It's giving predator. It's giving manipulation, and I kind of feel the same way when it's the other way around. It feels manipulation. It feels like a cash cow situation to me. And it's wow. It's crazy.
You know, sometimes when you date a girl, you don't know just how much of a thought she is. No, I'm a supporter of thoughts. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Some thoughts are good, some thoughts are bad. But sometimes you don't know just how much they are until you're really in a relationship with them and crap hits the fan and you have to figure out what kind of person they are. Do you share the same morals and values? Drea, you know exactly who she is. There's no question on her character. She has made a TV career with Basketball Wives. You know exactly what kind of human being she is. You know where she stands. You know how she's manipulated other basketball players. So there was no confusion there. Jalen Green, man, you should have known better, and you're right. There should have been some better. And I don't know who it was. Maybe it was what's homeboy's name? Fred Van Vliet
Somebody,
on
yeah.
somebody. There's some veterans on my team that should have pulled him aside. Jeff Green and be like, yo, young blood, and like she's for the streets,
Yeah, man.
not for the sheets. Leave her be. But no one did, and here he is, and here Drea is getting the badge.
Yeah. Fritz said 18-year sponsor. Crazy, man.
Yep.
Crazy town. Yeah, that's my bro pick. Shout out to Timmy for actually reminding me in the chat. Also, shout out to Alexander since the $5 super chat. It's just you're just getting support today. I appreciate that. All right, man. A-Train says tonight's game is a bro pick. Uglier than Aunt Esther.
Bruh.
Damn,
That's ugly.
that's really ugly. Yeah, man, this is an historically bad game in the era where teams are scoring 130 points and raining threes. For both teams to not score 80 points is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But it is what it is. Next game is let's. Luckily, there are 82 games in the season, so when there's a bad game, you can just throw it away and head on to the next one. And luckily, even after this debacle, the Knicks are still in 4th place. And with 19 or 18 games left, we are still in a good position to finish strong with our guys, OG Anunoby and Julius Randle on the horizon of coming back. So we just have to keep it moving. We just have to keep it moving. All right. Cool. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Lee, do you have any books you want to recommend?
With the concussion, I wasn't reading very much. And then I was out in Austin, San Antonio on business, so I didn't have a chance to read much then either. So I haven't been reading. I'm not going to fake the funk and showcase a book that I haven't had a chance to crack open. But I do have a shout out. I saw a future NBA player this year. Last year, I saw Anthony Black. Bet my dad $100 he'd be a lottery pick. I won that bet. This year, Tony Battie. I don't know if anyone remembers Tony Battie, great power forward, small ball center. He also, his brother plays some NBA ball. Derek Battie. They're both from South Dallas. They won state championship with South Oak Cliff, one of the legendary high school teams of the nation, especially in Texas. They have Derek has a son, and this kid, Dylan Battie, plays for Lancaster. That's a city where I grew up. It's pretty deep in South Dallas. Incredible basketball heritage there. This kid's a baller. He just committed to Temple. He's a rugged power forward. He was MVP of the tournament. He is going to be an unbelievable pro. I hope he adds a 3-ball, but he has all the other dynamics. Great on-ball defender, great cutter, great lob threat, can guard all 5 positions, has a solid handle, actually has a very good mid-range pull-up game as well. The only thing he's missing is a 3-ball. He didn't show that off, but he was a man amongst men, a man amongst boys in this tournament. These little kids couldn't handle him. I mean, the high school game here in Texas is pretty high quality. This guy, though, was like, you saw the chop. Same way when I saw Chris Bosh in 2003. I knew this guy's going to dominate. Same thing with LaMarcus Aldridge, Cedarville. I knew he was going to dominate. I saw it. And this guy's going to be better than his uncle and his dad. This Batiste is going to be a lottery pick here in 1 or 2 years after he has a good season at Temple. So shout out, man. This South Dallas is, we got Plano, 1 state championship, Oak Cliff, Faith Family, and Lancaster. 3 out of the 6 champions were all in North Texas. So we are the mecca of bad high school hoops now in the country, and I'm proud to be living here and covering it.
All right. Salute. My man is scouting. He does it all. He reads, he scouts, and he buys t-shirts.
Talks trash.
Talks trash.
Thoughts.
all that. And
Let's go.
We already know Knicks ain't drafting nobody. So unless you see somebody who's going to be like the 60th pick or something, then maybe we'll pick
I did
him
see
up.
this 5'8" white kid point. He's from Small Ponder, Texas. He might be available in the 2nd round.
Okay, so all right, there we go. Future Nick. We still might need some playmaking somewhere. All right.
Man, do we ever?
Oh man. Bring back Isaiah Thomas, damn it. Sheesh. Bring back Isaiah.
Yo, for real.
Get that man back in the league. I'm not even joking. Get that man back in the league. That's the show, man. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And shout out to everybody in the chat who's rocking with us on this Sunday. We'll be back, man. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a win. And we just need to truck along till we get to the playoffs and then turn it up. All right. That's the show, guys. We're out of here. And as always,
shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the show. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.